And so I know we were talking about this even before we started the podcast today, but the emotional load on being a performer, being an artist, being a dancer, like how much you're giving. I have so many friends that are actors and dancers and performers. And I love how deeply emotionally you can connect. But what's that like, giving in that space as a job constantly?
It's really rewarding, because especially when I go out and teach or do lectures and stuff, I say to a lot of the performers, your job is to make somebody feel something. Because a lot of us in society, we go to watch shows, we go to the theatre, we go to concerts, we go to be entertained, and we also go to forget. We forget what's going on in our lives, whether it's a health issue, whether it's family issues, whether it's work issues, financial, whatever it is. But you go there to feel something. You want to escape. So I make a thing of like really stressing to them. It's your job to make them feel something and leave like they felt something. They've even felt inspired. They felt invigorated, emotional, sad, happy, whatever it is. You have to be able to tap into that in a way that you light them up, that they will never forget that moment, or you capture their attention and you don't leave it until you leave that stage. So that in itself like involves a lot of giving. So that's being able to tap into that emotion that you want them to convey. So it can be draining for yourself because you're giving, all you're doing is giving. And sometimes you can be doing it to a crowd that is giving you nothing back. It's just crickets, absolute crickets. So then you're now having to work twice as hard to give and give and give until finally you crack them. That shell that they had is starting to like disintegrate. And now you penetrated in a way that, okay, cool. I have your attention. I have your emotion. I have your heart. Let's connect. So essentially what you're doing is connecting with them. Once you've connected with them, you've made them feel something. So that takes a lot of giving. Eventually, when you come off of that stage, the last thing you want to do is give more, because you're spent. Everything you had physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you've given. So that's why, like, I always say to people as well, be very, very mindful when it comes to with artists, for example, singers or actors, whatever. When you go to watch them, they've given a lot. Most of the time, they have nothing left. So when you have people coming at them, can I have your autograph? Oh, can I have a picture? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, they are absolutely tapped out. Like, they are drained. So it's we have to be mindful of those things. We are human beings as well. They are human beings that you're interacting with. Yes, they may be famous, whatnot, but
See,
they
now
still
I have an
feel.
excuse why I didn't come and see you backstage.
But we also understand it's part of our job.
Yeah.
The job's not done until like we leave the venue, the space, or wherever. Because sometimes like you have to like take a moment. Like with me, like when the moment I come on stage, I have to take a moment, stop sweating for one, and just like collect myself and whatever I'm feeling, just let it come out, and then I can start engaging with people. But people forget like the person that you saw on stage is not the same person that you can see after the show, because it's an altered ego. It's a different version of me. It just so happens the one that you see now is kind of like the more subdued, authentic, chilled version. And that goes for like most performers, really. Some people are just more extroverted and they're just like, that's just them 24/7. Even then, it's like at some point you gotta.
And how do you deal with the ups and downs of being in the industry too? Because I guess sometimes what has that been like? Has it been up and down for you, or has it just been like you've always had tons of work?
Yeah. Like, especially when you're starting off, it's it's a lot. You have to be mentally strong. Like, you have to be resilient, because we're not in the entertainment industry. We're in the industry of being judged. So you have to be okay with being judged. And that's judged on your looks, judged on your talent, judged on everything you can think of. The most micro element of yourself is going to be dissected. Before you even say anything or even do anything, they're looking at what you look like. So image is crucial. We're in an image-based industry, so you have to be okay with that. And if you're not, you're in the wrong business. Same with fashion.
Yeah. Same with my industry, nightlife and
Right.
hospitality, anything that's people facing.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with everything else that comes with it. And unfortunately, the negative is always kind of like outweighing, but the moment you break through, then you just like tunnel visioned. So there has been a lot of like knockbacks, so many no's. Thinking about, but then you just kind of like, you have to remind yourself why you're doing it. Do you love it enough? That's the first question I always like pose to people. Do you love it enough to go through all of that turmoil? Like, it's like any relationship. Do you love that person enough to go through all of this hardship and fight through it and make it work? It's the same with the entertainment industry. Do you love it enough to like to go through all this heartache, all this hardship, this judgment, persecution, whatever it is? Even more so now, especially in our social media era, you are being judged left, right. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's an expert. Everyone's got something to say. So you gotta really, really like take it with a pinch of salt, and sometimes you take a big fat L and keep pushing.